Serious, Redditors who felt like they would never ever find a romantic partner and then did. What advice would you give to those who feel the same way now? Keep putting yourself out there. You're not going to meet your future someone by sitting at home alone, unless it's the food delivery person, I guess. Even if you only have one friend, or none, who is available that day can join you, still try to go to concerts, bars, bookstores, restaurants, etc. alone. Also, just because things don't happen romantically with someone doesn't mean cut them off. Sometimes people are meant to just be a fun friend acquaintance and you can expand your social circle through them, and meet a romantic partner from that. Edit, fixed a word. I was so painfully shy and insecure when I was younger. I didn't believe anyone would see anything valuable in me. I would say don't get caught up in thinking you're unlovable. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Allow yourself to be vulnerable with people. I spent a lot of time pushing people away because I feared rejection so much. I know it sounds weird. But, stop looking and find a hobby that can involve other people. I swear women can smell desperation and loneliness. After a couple of years of dating after my divorce, zillions of first dates and women who had no long-term potential, I gave up. I just did my own thing, worked on my cars with a local car club, took care of the kids when I had them. Eventually, the woman I never would have sought out, unexpectedly came along. Been married 16 years now. Did she come along from one of your hobbies? Get out of the house. People aren't going to show up to your front door. The more social events places you go to, the better. I know people who complain about there not being anyone out there for them, but they never give themselves the opportunity to meet new people. I spent much of the last 5 years thinking I was done with dating, that I'd be single forever, that women my age weren't interested in guys like me, etc. 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 Make an excuse. I was probably telling it to myself. I've tried online dating, I've tried getting out there and widening my social circles, doing new things. I'd had a few very brief trysts arise from my efforts, but real connections felt very scarce, which to me seemed preposterous. I live in a very progressive state, with tons of smart, kind, witty, wild women who are involved, aware, and active. But for all my efforts to meet and hold the attention of one, I was only feeling more and more defeated over time. The best thing you can do, I think, is to just do you. Find joy in your daily routine, in the aspects of your life that you choose. Be into you. Someone is going to notice. Confidence and comfort in your own skin is probably the most attractive quality one can project. Are you a little bit weird? Duck and go with it. Own it. Revel in it. Someone out there is going to find your quirks adorable, even sexy. I'm 35 years old and I still have trouble believing myself to be an attractive individual. But I am also an incredibly harsh critic of myself, and I think many of us are, too. Just accept and love yourself, embrace and live the shit out of your life. Someone is going to want in. Edit, wow, rip, my inbox. First Reddit gold. Thank you, kind internet stranger. I didn't meet my wife until I was 30. My 20s were quite lonely, having had only one real girlfriend. Now that I'm married with 2 kids, my advice for anyone younger and trying to meet a partner in life is that you need to be upfront about your feelings, and not be concerned about rejection. None of the rejection will matter when you get older. In the moment and can feel bad, but instead you should think, oh well, they didn't like me, I will go try another one. TLDR, not everyone is going to like you, and that's okay. Just keep trying until you find someone that does. Edit, a word edit too. People are much more often attracted to a personality, rather than on looks alone. If you show a potential partner that you are kind, generous, thoughtful, etc., they could be more likely to find you attractive in the future. Just don't lose faith in yourself and stay positive. TLDR, not everyone is going to like you, and that's okay. Just keep trying until you find someone that does. It gets real tiring sometimes though. My mom isn't the best advice giver, but one thing she said to me that echoes that sentiment is you gotta kiss a lot of frogs to get a prince. And she was totally right. I never thought I would get married. Honestly, I never thought I'd meet a guy that actually was thoughtful, caring, and thought of me as an equal. Besides all that, I had a type. Once I decided to get out of the mindset of looking for my type, which was mostly physical attributes, I just focused on having fun and going out and trying different things. I met my husband when I was 30 and absolutely hated his guts at first. We were co-workers and I also had a rule about not shitting where you eat. He was totally not my type at all, and after I got over my dislike for him, which was work-related, I was able to get to know him outside of work through work-sponsored events. Sounds strange, I know. After about 6 months of friendship, I realized I had feelings for him and we had our first kiss. Married him 2 years later. We've been married for 9 years and have a 1-year-old daughter now, and am as in love with him now as I ever was. Once you open yourself to possibility, don't close yourself off by having a type, and don't put pressure on things. You'll be surprised how you can be blindsided by love. It can come from the most unexpected people and unexpected time in your life. Absolutely hated his guts at first. Why? Oh wow. Didn't expect this type of interest. Sorry it took so long to reply, I just got off work. To expand on why I strongly disliked him, he was a newly promoted supervisor when I first met him. I was also new to the company. He was a little, shall we say, overzealous in his new duties and tried to talk to me about something he'd perceived that I had done, even though I hadn't done what he was talking about. It made me really angry even though I was professional in my interaction with him. Become okay on your own first and foremost, and recognize that there are things about yourself that people will not like and will disqualify you from their dating pool, and that's okay. I lost over 140 pounds and have quite the amount of loose skin, and once I realized that some queens and gals just wouldn't be down for that, and that's alright, I started to be okay. I let potential dates know beforehand, and if they were like, then I knew that that wasn't someone I would want in my life anyway. Other guys I told about it would try to shower me with compliments and say, "No, you're perfect," but I could tell they cringed. My current boyfriend saw a picture of my skin, nodded, took a breath and said, "Babe, your shit's ducked. I love that asshole." My current boyfriend saw a picture of my skin, nodded, took a breath and said, "Babe, your shit's ducked. I love that asshole." That's so refreshing. I miss having a so like that. Also, I'm glad you found someone. It feels so good to be loved honestly. 1. You really only need one person. 2. Don't pick someone to fix, or be fixed by. This will only take away your time and emotional energy. Absolutely true. Pick a partner, not a project. I always tried to remember something I read. Happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the faster it will flutter away. It's when you ignore it, and focus on other things, that it will come land in your hand on its own. Reminds me of a quote from Red vs. Blue. What I've learned is that a great love is a lot like a good memory. When it is there, and you know it is there, but it is just out of reach, it can be all that you think about. And you can focus on it, and try to force it, but the more you do, the more you seem to push it away. But, if you are patient, and you hold still, well maybe, just maybe, it will come to you. Reminds me of something mentioned in a Stephen King book, The Dead Zone. Trying to remember something is like trying to get past a large rock. You can't force your way through it, you've got to sneak around the side. At least it was something like that. I read that book a long time ago. Stephen King must have dealt with memory issues in some personal way at some point. Lisey's story had several lines about sideways thinking and thinking at an angle and things like that when one of the characters was dealing with memory issues. Yup. He's mentioned he doesn't even remember writing Cujo. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. I'd say don't stress it by purposely trying to activate the dating mode on every woman you meet. Just stay at on a friend level and see how it goes. If it develops into something where you think she's interested in more, go for it. If not, then don't ruin the friendship and respect her opinion. In the end, it's a lot of randomness. My first GF came out of nowhere and didn't have the intent to date me, but it went well, for a while lol. That being said, I'm bad at all of that stuff, so take my stuff with a grain of salt. As a female, I find it way more attractive when a guy takes his time to like me. When he likes me instantly, I assume it's purely because I'm attractive and hence desperate, not because he enjoys my actual presence. I'm more on the reserved introverted side, so if you like a girl like that, I'd try the slow and steady approach. Try to do something that allows you to meet new people. And I don't mean it in a romantic way like go on dates, but, hang out with people, get to know someone new. This way, even if you don't find someone to date, you can get to know someone and they will introduce you to someone else and so on. I know it's very easy to just sit at home and be like, well, if it's my fate, she will find me eventually. Especially if you're a girl, like me, it's easy to think this way and not even try to put in any efforts. But it doesn't work this way. Push yourself, be proactive, put yourself in situations where you might meet someone, even if they're sometimes not so comfortable for you. Even statistically, the more people you meet, the more are the chances that one of them will end up that special someone. I know it's very easy to just sit at home and be like, well, if it's my fate, she will find me eventually. It's easy to think this way and not even try to put in any efforts. But it doesn't work this way. Exactly. Which is why OP should completely disregard all of these people regurgitating this. The right one will come along when you stop looking, trying nonsense. Following that advice will increase your risk of dying alone by 90%. I think the message these people are trying to communicate is less do nothing and forget about your romantic aspirations, and then your new dearly beloved will magically appear, and more that, while you should put yourself in situations where there is a greater likelihood of meeting someone, always having a relationship on the mind can be emotionally tiring. #X200B, no matter what, most people are not dating material and you are not dating material to them, so it can be frustrating and lonely going through all these unfruitful interactions. I think it's bet to focus on legitimately connecting with people while letting go of expectations, not manipulating a situation so that you're forcing something romantic on something that just isn't romantic.